Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High's only begotten Son, Call Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Wabarakatham to the hopeful elect. Alright, now today through the Spirit is going to be a quick lesson going into your enemies, man. You Israelites. And you Israelites happen to be you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indians. The people who come from that descent, from their father's seed. You are the true Israelites who went through the curses, according to Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. Alright, the Lord used these heathen nations and set them up to be our enemies. Ultimately, the main enemy being Esau Edom. Alright, which is the so-called Caucasian man, the red man. Alright. And they've put us in different captivities, and they've foundationized this world on the destruction of the Israelites, putting us on the bottom. And making themselves be as the pure people when we're really the pure people. That's the only way they'll be able to rule. So all these people on this chart, it says the curses shall be for a sign and a wonder under the heaven. Alright, so that's what these curses show. The ones who went into captivity under slave ships, being plucked off from the land you go to possess it. That's happened by these heathen nations. Alright, and that's your enemies, man. Alright, the Edomites, which is the Caucasians, which is Esau, Edom. Their name in the Hebrew means Idawam, which means red. Then you have Elamites, which is the East Indies. You got the Abramites, which is Asherites, which is the Assyrians. No, Asherites. It says Aramites, which is the Syrians. Ishmaelites was the Arabs. Moabites was the Chinese. Ammonites, Japanese. It says Cushites was the Ethiopians. Mizraims, which is the Egyptians. Futites, which is the North Africans. Canaanites, which is the South Africans. Alright. It says Gomerites, which is the Turkish. Magagites, which is the Russians. Javanites, which is the Greeks. Ashkenazites, which is the German. Alright. Tarshishites, which is the Spaniards, and Kittimites. Alright, and all these nations played parts in destroying the Israelites and having us on the bottom during different captivities, selling us into captivity, and many other things. And that's what I'm gonna get into in this lesson. These are all the true heathens, the true Gentiles, these heathen nations. All right, the Lord liketh them to spit on the ground, and he's dealing with the Israelites. He hasn't dealt so with any other nation. Psalms 147. All right, but first we're gonna go to Psalms 83, and we're gonna read verse 1. This chapter is Yahweh. It tells you who your enemies is, man. All right, let's read it. It says, a song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. It says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult. All right, let's get that definition of tumult real quick. It says a loud, confused noise. All right. It says, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Our enemies hate us. And they made a tumult, causing attention, all that, man. It says they have taken crafty counsel against thy people. All right. So they together on the same accord, these heathen nations. It says, and consulted against thy hidden ones. All right. They're against us. They're our enemies. Okay. It says they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, the Israelites, selling us into captivity, acknowledging that our Lord and Savior and the people of the Bible is Jewish people. All of that, man. It says, and let us cut them off from being a nation. That's what they did. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And that's what they did. They did everything in their power to do that. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent, on the same accord. It says they are confederate against thee. And guess who it's going to name? All these heathen nations, man. The tabernacles of Edom, the Caucasian man. All right. The Ishmaelites. All right. The Arabs of Moab. Those Chinese. Of the Hagarenes. Gabal and Ammon and Amalek. Amalek, top tribe of Esau. The Jewish people. It says the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre, the Africans, man. Hamites. Asher also joined them and have hope in the children of Dalit. Salah. Okay? These wicked ass heathen nations have played a huge part in the destruction of the Israelites, man. And they're your enemies. The Lord said, I've set a difference between the Egyptian and the Israelites. Roughly paraphrasing. The ancient Egyptians were Hamites. Africans. That's why they call them African and they call you black. Or African American. Because you're not the same people. And during those times of captivities, they even called us Hebrews. Because we're the real Israelites, man. Alright. Let's read this. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 35. And we're going to start at verse 4 actually. It says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh. Who is it speaking of? Let's keep reading. This is our main enemy this scripture is speaking about. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, man. That's an everlasting, ever-growing hatred. Esau, Edom. Alright, the so-called red man. It has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in their time of calamity. Going back to the time of the Grecians. Alexander the Greek. Those generals under him. He had generals under him that was slaughtering Jake, killing Jake, man. Then you go all the way on to the Romans. Then you keep going on and on. The Spaniards. Killing all of the 12. Let's go back to the sign. You know, they're killing all the southern kingdom and these northern kingdom tribes, man. These Edomites have done nothing but slaughter and kill and try to destroy the Israelites, man. Alright? These people on this chart, man. Okay, they want to destroy. They tried to destroy you. Trying to go take Puerto Rico land. Richport. That's what Puerto Rico mean. They want to take their land, man. Coming and slaughtering the southern kingdom. That's all done by Esau, man. Our main enemy. The so-called white man. They're not white. They're not pure. You go into the definition of pure, it means, that's what white means, pure. They're not fucking pure. Those are damn devil the Bible speaks of, man. Alright, and they're really red. You see they pigment, you see they pigment, you don't got no pigmentation on their skin. So you see they fucking blood. They're lepers, cursed. People of curse, man. Alright? They've done nothing but destroy all these. That's what children of Israel is. These are the children of Israel. Jacob's 12 sons. The sons of Jacob, the children of Israel, man. Because he got his name changed to Israel. All these people, man, they shed the blood of y'all, man. And that's their blessing. The sword, which is the military, all their weaponry, that's how they've taken everything they got. And they shed blood, man. Hate us, man. It says, in the time their iniquity had an end. Let's keep reading. The 6th verse. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh power, I will prepare thee unto blood. He got blood prepared for your ass, Esau. And a lot of our people, they don't want to accept that. But they've done nothing but destroy and try and destroy y'all and kill you. They hated you. They still hate you. It's an ever-going hatred, man. That's why they spent all this money to keep this truth hidden for us. But you can't stop the spirit of the Lord, man. It's prophecy. Who's going to wake up? It says, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Why is blood going to pursue them? Well, let's go ahead and keep reading, man. See it, thou hast not hated blood. These devils love to shed blood. Deceivers. Killing people off and then say they the Israelites. Come take everybody's land. Say we the real Egyptians. We the real this. We the real that. Weren't even the original Greeks. Fucking cavemen, alright? And they came and took land, and they'll say that's them. This is our land. Deceivers, devils, man. And they're adverse unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. We're the physical counterpart of the Lord. They're the physical counterpart of Satan. Shaitan, adversary. Those red devils, and they would make the devil be red like they is. It says, even blood shall pursue thee. You didn't hate blood. You love shedding blood. So what's going to happen? Blood got to pursue you, nigga. It says, thus I will make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut him off from it that passeth out, and him that returneth. And he's going to make y'all ass desolate, man. Esau. Okay, and these are your enemies, you Israelites, man. Alright? Y'all, these are the Israelites' enemies. They wanted to destroy you. All right. Let's get the next scripture. This is Obadiah chapter 1 verse 10. That's why they targeting us to take that stabbing jab, man. You Israelites, man. This is your enemy. These niggas are ruling right now. They're the real niggas. The real beast, lawless heathens. Alright? Let's read this. This is Obadiah 1 verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. What did they do on the transatlantic slave trade, man? Tossing people off the ship. Killing for no reason. Coming in over here with the time of the Spaniards and slaughtering all the Indians, man. They're Israelites, man. What did they do to y'all, man? You Aztecs. All of y'all. You Puerto Ricans. Y'all, I know your history, man. They came in, was killing and slaughtering you for no reason, man. Because they wanted that land. It didn't belong to them, but they said, you know what, we're going to come take it. That's what all these heathen nations have done, man. And ultimately, the Lord had to do that to get at us, man. Because we was going off. All right. Let's keep reading. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captives his forces, and foreigners enter into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, casting lots upon us. Even thou was one of them. These niggas are really supposed to be fucking slaves, man. They're supposed to be our servants. It says, but thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, the day that he became a stranger. All right, that we got cast away. They rejoiced when we got cast away. It says, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in their day of destruction, the southern kingdom. It says, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. The southern kingdom are the so-called dark tribes, dark-skinned tribes, who will be known as black. All right, they rejoiced. Okay, they played a huge part. Let's go to this little article real quick. Let's go into the transatlantic slave trade, man. All right. It says the Atlantic slave trade, transatlantic slave trade, or Euro-American slave trade. They call themselves Europeans. You're Esau. You're the devil. It says include the transportation by slave traders of various enslaved African people, mainly to the Americas. Okay. Now Israelites and Africans are two different people. All right. Africans sold Israelites into captivity. Okay. It says the slave trade regularly used the triangular trade route, and its middle passage existed from the 16th and 19th century. Now this happened 1600s, man. All right, let's see. Yep, around the 15 to 1600s. I mean 15 to 1700s. All right. Now they call us Africans, but we're not the same as them. That's why you had our forefathers back in the ancient times of old, like Paul. No, it was Peter or Paul getting mistaken as, I think it was Paul, getting mistaken as Hamites. I think that was Paul getting mistaken as Egyptians. All right, and then you also had Moses. That's why he was able to be, because the real Egyptians were Hamites. They were Africans, the so-called African people. He was dark skinned like them, so he got mistaken. That's why he was able to pass as being just a regular African, because he was dark skinned. But guess what? Everybody was melanated at one point. But you know, there's different nations, man. That's why the Lord doesn't judge the outward appearance, because somebody could be as dark as ever and be a complete heathen, or it could be as light as ever and be an Israelite. He can have as much pigment as an Israelite. I mean, he can have as much pigment as an Edomite. Have no pigmentation at all, but then be an Israelite, because by way of the curses, we've been scattered, mingled amongst the heathen nations. But it all goes back to your father's seed. But you know, there's a difference. If you look at a Hamite and you look at an Israelite, it's a difference, man. All right, so we're not Africans. Africans don't even like being called African, actually. But we're not Africans, nor are we black. We are Israelites. The Southern Kingdom, these are the Southern Kingdom of Israelites, the so-called American blacks or Negroes, Judah, Benjamin, Levi. These are the Southern Kingdom, the three tribes. Known as the West Indies, like the Jamaicans, man, the Haitians. These are the Southern Kingdom. These are not Africans. It's a difference. But Esau teach you that we all came from Africa, that we're all Hamites. Because if you were African, that means you come from Ham, the seed of Ham. You come from under that lineage of Ham. But guess what? The Israelites came from the lineage of Shem. It's not Semitic, it's Shemitic. And they came from Shem, the Israelites. Alright? That's who they are. Okay? That's where they come from, man. But I'm gonna go into this. This is going into the time of the Grecian. This is the Greeks when they were Hellenizing everything. And Maccabees. This is First Maccabees 3 and 48. And this is in the Apocrypha, which is at the end of the Old Testament that they took out. Because they didn't want people to know about the time of the Grecian captivity. The Bible is a history book. You got all this prophecy, all these things that happen in current time were prophecies. They wanted to hide this, but we're gonna bring it out. This is First Maccabees 3 verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, which is the Bible, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. And that's what the Grecians did. And that's Esau, Edom. That's your enemy. Why did they do that? Because they hate you. They want to keep you in sin, keep you being wicked, make you think there's no hope, so you can keep being a sinner, keep going against your power. That was their goal. Let's keep reading. Let's get Revelation chapter 12, talking about Esau, Edom again. And we're gonna go back into that Grecian captivity, man. As a matter of fact, no, we ain't gonna go to the Rome. We're gonna go back to that Grecian. We got to get back to that on their ass some more. Not done with them. Let's go back to that. Let's go to Maccabees. Okay, because these Grecians have done so much wickedness against the Israelites, man. All right, all the Maccabees, man. Let's get in there. These wicked ass Edomites, and that's the first. This is the first rulership where Esau really ruled. Was under Alexander the Greek. All right, they call him Alexander the Great. But he was really a Macedonian, but Alexander the Greek, man. All right, but let's go ahead and go to it, man. This is 2 Maccabees 6 verse 11, and this is during the time of the Seleucid dynasty. He was under Alexander the Greek, Antiochus, that king. He was slaughtering and killing Jake, man, for keeping the laws and doing righteous deeds. That's their hatred. They've had this since back then in these ancient old times, man. Let's read it. 2 Maccabees 6 verse 11. And the others that had run together into the caves nearby to keep the Sabbath day secretly. They had to keep the Sabbath secretly because they was going to slaughter them for doing that. That's how Esau is. He don't want you to do righteousness. He wants you to be wicked and go off. All right. It says to keep the Sabbath day secretly. They had to keep it secretly because Esau wouldn't allow them to do it. He wanted to destroy them. That's the nature of the wicked. Esau is known as the wicked. The Bible speaks of. It says they call him the border of wickedness in Malachi, the first chapter. All right, verse 4. All right, it says, being discovered by Philip, they were burnt together because they made a conscience to keep themselves for the honor of the most sacred day. They died in the faith. They were martyrs. But this is the Grecians, man, under that Grecian captivity. Philip Macedonian had Alexander the Greek. Alexander the Greek came and conquered everybody. Now was the first time when Esau ruling. All right, let's go into it. This is First Maccabees 1 verse 57, man. All right, it says, and whosoever was found with any book of the testament, or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. You was gonna die for that, and that's what Esau did, man. These devils did that to you Israelites, man. But y'all want to walk around loving your enemy, man. This is your fucking enemy we speaking of, man. This is why they hid the Apocrypha from you. Cause stuff like this is in it, man. Revealing who these devils are. Alright? This is 2 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 4. We're gonna keep reading down. We're gonna read it. Go right through it. This is 2 Maccabees 6 and 4. For the temple was filled with riot and revealing, because they destroyed the temple, man. By the Gentiles, the real heathens. Esau, who dallied with harlots and had to do with the women within the circuit of the holy places. And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. Wickedness, man. It says the altar was also filled with profane things, which the law permitted. That's what profanity is. Things that's outside of the temple. That the law forbids. That's all the heathen did. It says, neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days or ancient feasts or profess himself to be a Jew. They wouldn't even allow the real Israelites to worship Yahweh shall bow down to him. That shows hatred, man. That's what they've done, is hate you. All right. It says, In the day of the king's birth, oh, Salakia. That's all the point I wanted to get right there. Got a little too excited. Now let's go into this Roman captivity, man. In Rome. That's right. That was like right after the Grecians. Really the same people, Esau. It says, this is Revelation 12 verse 3. And there appeared a wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon. It's talking about this revolver-made empire. Having 7 heads and 10 horns. Those heads are going into the rural governments by Esau ultimately. And the 10 horns are those like vassal states, those little nations that go give in into that ultimately the main big dogs. They give in into them. The vassal states give in to big dogs. It says, and 7 crowns upon his head. So smaller nations giving in to the higher powers. All right, but that's ultimately, it's talking about the Roman Empire, Rome. They did so much wickedness to you Israelites, man. Let's read it. It says that his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven. Now, when you go into Genesis, Joseph had a vision, which would be the tribe of Ephraim. All right, Joseph had a vision where he basically all of his brothers and them had to come and serve him and stuff, man. But he applied to them as being stars. So when it's saying stars, that's speaking of these tribes. But the 3rd stars it's talking about is the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, because this is the southern kingdom. And during the Roman captivity, these tribes got hit really bad. That harsh bondage under the Romans, and they're Edomites. They were Edomites, man. The ancient Romans weren't Edomites, but they conquered the land and all that stuff. It was Esau at that time, 70 AD and all around that time period. It says, and did cast them to the earth. So they brought us low. We got brought low under these Romans, man. Killing us, having us eating clothes. We were starving so bad, man. You Southern Kingdom Israelites, man. You Negroes and you Jamaicans, West Indies, Haitians. All right, we were brought low. It says, and the dragon stood before the woman was ready to be delivered. All right, it's talking about Mary. It says, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. It was talking about Herod wanted to kill Yahweh Shah, who the world really knows as Jesus, who the world really calls Jesus. His real name is Yahweh Shah in the Paleo Hebrew. They wanted to kill him. All right, because they heard he was supposed to be the savior. They wanted to keep us on the bottom. And they still do until this current given day, until now, modern time. All right. But let's get this. This is Job chapter 9 verse 24. And before I get that, let's go into the let's get it real quick. Let's get Malachi 1 verse 4. All right. To show who the wicked, because I already paraphrased it earlier, but now we got to show who the wicked is. Oh, and I had pulled this up, so like it. I ain't even go into the Seleucid dynasty. But that's during the Grecians. That was slaughtering a lot of Jakes under Antiochus. This empire. This is the Grecians. This is when they were over this is known as the Grecian Empire, really Macedonian. But that's when they was going around killing and slaughtering a lot of Jake. All right. Ptolemy took some part of the land. There was some it was Antiochus, and it was the other ones, the generals. They were taking over all these lands and Hellenizing everything. All right, converting us to be Grecians, and learn their heathen way and shit. All right, but let's get this. This is Malachi 1 verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished. All right, but we will return and build the desolate places. Got cast down. They say we will return and rebuild. We'll come back up. It says, thus said Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. All right, which is getting ready to happen again. It says, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. Now, when you look into the word border, it means territory. It's like that. It's like that area. That's where wicked. That's them. That's who they are. The border of wickedness. It says, in the people whom Yahweh hath indignation forever. All right, so he has righteous anger. Indignation means righteous anger, and he has that righteous anger forever against Esau. That's a nation who he hates because they're the wicked. He created them to be adverse unto him. All right, but let's get this. This is Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. We just read who the wicked was. All right, and that's who's in rulership right now. It says Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. Jacob is going to be the children of Israel, his 12 sons. We're going to rule forever, man. All right. It says he covered the faces of the judges thereof. So the ultimate judge is going to be our Lord Yahweh Shah. They made him be white. We just read the heathen paint the likeness of their own images. But Ptolemy had these fake false ass. He had that. What's that shit? Serapis Christus. That's where that Jesus shit really go back to. And then after that you had Cesare Borgia, man. All right, Cesare Borgia. All right, and everybody knows about that under Pope Alexander. Modeled his son after the Lord. But guess what? Those are both false images, false idols. All right, and then also you know the way they did that Roman Catholic bullshit, saying that the Virgin Mary was a virgin, and she brought forth somebody else. How you gonna bring forth a human and you didn't have sex with another human? That don't make sense. Angels can't have sex. That shit doesn't make sense. They can't have sex in the actual state they're in right now. So it had to. So people like to use those other books and just go off, man. All right, be going off with that shit. Then they also said that Grecian shit is that fucking hell doctrine. That's that Greek bullshit. You go into the underworld and then you're gonna be burning eternally, and your spirit gonna take a life human shaped form, and you're just gonna be burning forever. That's that Greek shit, man. Look up Hades underworld, and it's gonna say exactly what that hell doctrine is. That's where that shit go back to. It's not scriptural. Just like that Mary being a virgin birth. Yeah, she was a fucking virgin. Dude went into her to create the Lord. How you can't make flesh without two flesh. Two flesh have to make another flesh. The scriptures even say the terrestrial is different from the celestial. Those angels are in those different bodies. They're not in earthly bodies, so they can't have sex with her. So that's bullshit. But you know that's that Greek, that's that shit, man. Slocky for the language, that's that stuff, man. Hellenizing everything. But let's read just Job 9 verse 24. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked, Esau Edom. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So he covered the faces of the judges. The ultimate judges will be the angels that were with Yahweh Shai in the beginning, which would be now the prophets. All right, they're the angels in the chain of darkness. But let's get to the next scripture. This is Jeremiah 8 verse 1. This is a part. This is what they'll get the statues that show we was in rulership and stuff, and they chop the nose off so it'll be smaller like them. They did all that stuff to hide the fact that we ever ruled, or we were, that we even had something. We were more than just what we are now. That's what they did. All right, this society is made on destruction of the Israelites. All right, they don't want us to have no type of source of power at all. But let's read this. This is Jeremiah 8 verse 1. At that time, said Yahweh, they shall bring out the bones of the kings of Judah, man, the kings that rule, man, the southern kingdom. It says, and the bones of the princes, the bones of the priests, and the bones of the prophets, and the bones of the inhabitants of Jerusalem out of their graves. Man, they hid that shit, man. That's because they're our fucking enemy. And once you understand that, you'll realize you won't trust their ass because they your enemy. All they want to do is destroy you. There's not in their benefit to help you. All right, now let's go into these other heathens, man. Mainly it's gonna go into Ham, because people like to think that that's not your enemy, and we're the same people. We're not. They had us in captivity in the time of the Egyptians. They are the fucking real Egyptians. Pharaohs, those are Africans, man. Let's read. This is Amos 1 verse 9. Thus said Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus. It's talking about Hamites. It says, I will not Tyre, but Tyre. It says, for this transgression of Tyrus, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and remember not thy brotherly covenant. All right, let's keep reading. But I will send a fire upon the walls of Tyrus, that which shall devour the places thereof. It says, for thus said Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off pity, and off his anger did he tear perpetually, and kept his wrath forever. And that's what Esau Edom has done. All right. It says, but I will send fire upon Taman, which shall devour the places of Basra. Now, Salaki, that scripture wasn't talking about Tyre. This one's talking about Tyre. All right. Now, let's talk about Esau, Edom. They didn't give a shit about us. They just shed our blood and killed us. Now, let's go into the, this is the one I was talking about right here. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 1. It reads, for behold, in those days, and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, Israel, what's gonna happen? This is talking about us. This is talking about when the captivity is gonna happen. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Josaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So we're gonna come back together with our brothers, with our brother. All right. That's why we're in captivity together right now. Okay? Because we got put in the captivity together. The Lord had it set up that way. We're going to get delivered together as well. It says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. This is what these Hamites have done. Alright? It says, yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre, and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Alright, just talking about them. It says, will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return recompense upon your own head. So they got judgment coming for what they did. It says, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. Man, the Israelites. It says, the children of Judah. It says, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, which would be Esau, Edom. It's talking about Esau, Edom right here. The actual Grecians were the they go back to a whole other nation. They're not the Hamites. They're not Edomites. They're Japhites. But it says that ye might remove far from the border. So we got removed from that eastward land and got brought westward from Tyre. It says, behold, I will raise out of them the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense unto your own head. They got recompense coming, man. It says, and I will sell your sons and daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabeans and to the people far off, for Yahweh has spoken of it. So they got their judgment coming for what they did, man. Look at this. This happened. All right, let's read it. It says, what Africans got for their slaves? A master list of European trade goods. All right. It says, let's see, I want to get to the point. I want to get straight to the point. All right. No. Okay. Now let's see. I had another page I had right to the point. Okay, I'm just going to have to go like this and read it. It says, let's see, I'm trying to get to the point. Okay. This is not the article I wanted, Salaki. Ultimately, they sold us and they got that. If you watch certain movies, it shows it. You know, they got all types of goods and they sold the Israelites for like guns and wine and cigar, all that drugs and stuff, man. All right, let's see where I want to go to next. You know, hit the Arab right here. You know, all these nations played a part in our captivity. We're going to read this part. Let's see where it's at. It was a point I wanted to get right here in this article. Okay, hold on. Now it says, let's go. Here it is. Let's see. Islam. Wait, where was that? Is that the article I had? Alright, it says, not surprised. Let's see, he's going to read from the top. It says, there were dozens of similar comments, talking about some comments. Seriously, girl, this is haram, Arabic for forbidden. Queen marries her slave. One man commented on Facebook after seeing a photo of the couple, saying that she married her slave, married this guy. Alright, but it says, there were dozens of similar comments, not surprising in a country where many Sudanese who see themselves as Arabs rather than Africans routinely use the word slave and other derogatory words to describe black people. Sudan has always been dominated by light-skinned Arabic-speaking elite, while black Americans in the south and the west of the country have faced discrimination and marginalization. Had slavery over there, and they face discrimination. Alright, because that's the Arabs. Alright, Ishmael, let's go to it. Ishmael's, these Arabs, man. They played a part in our captivity. Then you had these African tribes played a part in our captivity. They go back to being Hamites. These four, the Cushites, Mizraimites, Putites, and the Canaanites, they go back to be Ham, man. Alright. That's where Tyre goes back to. All these heathen nations played a part in our captivity, man. Okay. Let's see. Let's go ahead and this is still Esau. We're gonna go and get all this little history in real quick. This is back with Esau under the Spaniards. It says the Indian Removal Act, alright, was signed by President Andrew Jackson on May 28, 1830, authorizing the president to grant lands west of Mississippi in exchange for Indian lands within existing state borders. It says a few tribes went peacefully, but many resisted the relocation policy. All right, so they came and they just came and took it, as I just said earlier. Look, came and took the land by force, the sword, and slaughtered and killed and brought diseases and shit. Then they forced them to learn how to be like Esau, learn how to be like the white man. Then you had the Spaniards under the Aztecs. It says the Spaniard conquest of the Aztec Empire, known as the Conquest of Mexico, or the Spanish-Aztec War, was one of the primary events in the Spanish colonization of America. Alright. It says there are multiple 16th century narratives of the events by Spanish conquistadors and their indigenous allies and the defeated Aztecs. You know, they came and they took their land too. Look. This all happened during times of history because these are the Israelites, man. You're Israelites. You so-called Hispanic. You Mexicans. You got that name Hispanic during their captivity. Then the Spaniards came during these 1800s. They tried to take over Puerto Rico. All right. Spanish-American War. Look. So these people are your enemies, man. And the Spaniards are not the same people as you. We're Edomites, Christopher Columbus and them, man. And they came and took you Northern Kingdom Israelites, man. Now let's get this. Even these damn Chinese. Alright. African slavery in China peaked during Tang and Song dynasties, but the number of African slaves taken to China, which is really Israelites, during the 608 year period is unclear. Alright. They played a part in our captivity too. All these nations played a part in our captivity, man. Alright. They all played part in it. Okay. But this is Revelation chapter 12, verse 10. It's talking about Esau, Edom, man. Back on them. It says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength. So that's deliverance from trouble and strength, power. It says in the kingdom of our power and the power of Yahweh Shai. Alright, it says in Mashiach right there. That means the anointed. Christ. It means the anointed. It says, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. Alright, that's what they've done, man. Alright. Esau Edom is wicked, man. Tell you that they're the Israelites and tell us that we can't do this, we can't do that. Trying to put evil upon us and stuff, man. Alright. This is 1 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 22. It says, saying, touch not mine anointed and do my prophets no harm. And guess what? Esau Edom has done the exact opposite. Did we not just read that? in Greek during the time of the Grecian captivity, and they've done it now. Still do it till this day. All types of wickedness. And it's all going to show because they're the wicked. The wicked is going to do wickedness. Lord didn't create the wicked and he's going to do righteousness. No, you can't bring an unclean thing out of a clean thing. The unclean is going to do unclean deeds. And these people are made to be our enemies. So they're going to be our enemies, man. All right, this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy. We just named our enemies at the beginning of this lesson, man. Esau, started with Esau, Edom, and the rest of these heathen nations. All these captivities they had us under. Selling that the Hamites, which we read in Joel, tired of selling us for guns and wine and all that stuff. They're our enemies. It says, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. These are our fucking enemies, man. And as time went by, they've grown more wicked and more wicked. Alright? And they're going to receive their judgment. Let's read this. This is Revelation 13 verse 10, man. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So guess what? The person who leads captivity was mainly Esau, Edom. Especially captivity of the Israelites. So you think the Lord is going to let that go unpunished, man? No. These are your enemies and they're going to get punished for what they did to y'all. It says, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. We just read how they got everything they got. The Indian Removal Act. Under those Spaniards, they went and took land from you Israelites, man. During the transatlantic slave trade. All they did was shed blood to get what they wanted. That's how you know this spiritual fucking Egypt. Because guess what? Once you take away the Israelites, then the shit not gonna fucking go. That's why the Lord is gonna destroy this place. Alright, we're not gonna be y'all's fucking we're not gonna be busting our ass for y'all no more, man. Building all this shit, doing all this stuff. Alright? Esau shed blood to get everything they got. Saying they're the true Egyptians. They're the true everybody. Which don't make sense, because if you were the true Israelites, then there's no way you could be the true Egyptians too. But that's how you know these devils trick is not working no more. Alright? It says, here is the patience and the faith of the saints. This is what we're looking forward to. Y'all getting y'all fucking judgment, man. You heathen nations and Esau, Edom. Because the heathen nations played part in our destruction. Us being brought on the low, on bottom. Alright, this is Numbers 35 verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. For the blood defileth the land. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So the land, all this land has shed innocent blood. So it can't be healed until the blood that shed it gets shed, man. So this land ain't healed yet. So you heathens are going to get your judgment, man. Especially you, Esau, Edom. Y'all are going to be done away with. The Lord don't even need no cause for you after that 1,000-year period of you going through your slavery. You going to be done fucking away with, man. Lastly, I'm going to end it off with this, man. This is James 2 verse 13. For he shall have judgment without mercy that have showed no mercy. You didn't show mercy, so you ain't going to get it. You reap what you sow. The Lord is all righteous. All right. It says, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. Esau didn't show mercy on us when they had us in captivity. Over there, mug breaking, being those little fruits, putting their rods in men and shit to intimidate other people. Where's the mercy in that? Where's the mercy of tossing people off the ship when they get sick, man? Where's the mercy in that? Putting yokes of iron upon people's neck. Where's the mercy in that, man? Coming in, spreading diseases on the northern kingdom and shedding blood. Where is the mercy in that, man? Not giving them no type of land. Making them cut off their hair. Making them not even be, you can't even say you an Israelite. That's what happened during the time of the Grecians. Where is the mercy in that? So they ain't gonna get no mercy, man. Alright, and these are your enemies, you Israelites. So don't trust your fucking enemy and learn who the hell they are. I'm gonna name them lastly and I'm gonna end this lesson off, man. It says non-Israelites, natural Gentiles, man. Edomites, which is the so-called white man. These red devils, they really red. White means pure. These were red as fucking devils, bums, man. The bottom of the fucking bottom, man. It says Elam, which is the East Indians. They're your enemies. It says Assurites, man, which is the Assyrians. They're your enemies. It says Aramites, which is the Syrians now. Alright, it says Ishmaelites, which is these Arabs, enemies. Moab, which is Chinese, enemies. Ammonites, which is the Japanese, your enemies. Cushites, which is the Ethiopians. Mizraimites, which is the Egyptians. It says Futites, which is the North Africans, and Canaanites, which is the South Africans. All those go back to Ham, and they're your enemies. It says Gomerites, which is the Turkish. Magagites, which is the Russians. Javanites, which is the Greeks. Ashkenaz, which is the Germans. It says Tarshishites, which is the Spaniards, and Kittites. And all these nations make up our enemies, man. All right, and they done nothing but help destroy us or help forward our afflictions. But anyways, Lord wills, this was edifying. I'm gonna end it off by saying, call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Till next time, Shalom.